What does it feel like to be in a mental jail? I can tell you for me, it's self doubt. It's that moment after moment of ruminating on other people's judgments or my own self judgment. And it can become self abusive. It can become demotivating. It can become that thing that takes us all the way to the bottom, all the way. And it's okay to get to the bottom. We've all been there, we've all had to go through it. And you have to go through that, the understanding of what self doubt is and how toxic it can be, to where it stops you in your tracks of doing something that you value or love, even if it's just yourself. And we don't want to be stopped from loving ourselves. But self doubt can turn so quickly into shame and shame spirals and self judgment and then self abuse. And nobody wants that. So, to come to a place where I could support others, I had to overcome my own chronic self doubt, my own self abandonment, my own suffering and pain of constantly wondering, if I do this, will I be liked? If I don't do this, will I be liked? If I choose this path, will I be liked or loved? I had to overcome it. I had to leave marriage. I had to leave toxic relationships. I had to leave and abandon the thoughts that were leading me to a place where I would just ignore my needs or abandon myself or abandon the love that could exist within me. And then I decided to do something crazier and provocative and start the Jailbreak Club. It's on Monday nights at 8 p.m. because Sundays, if you're like me, are a day where you wake up and you've had a good day Saturday, you took your break. Sunday you might sleep in, have a good breakfast, and you get all the way to about 8 p.m. And at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., you go, "Oh my God, tomorrow's Monday. Here's this that I need to do. I should have checked my emails all weekend. Maybe you did check them all weekend, so you didn't quite enjoy your weekend." And then you start the self annihilation. I should have done this. Maybe I should have finished this up on Friday. There's like this just gnawing anxiety that builds in your belly, and you're like, okay, I'm going to get a good night's sleep and I'm going to take it on. And yes, there's responsibilities and there's things we've got to tackle with our work and our careers and our projects and our kids and showing up to life. But it shouldn't feel like self abuse. It should feel exciting. It should feel like motivating and worthy of our attention, but not to where we hit the level of shaming ourselves for not doing something, because you're not capable of doing everything all the time. You're not capable of answering every email and being on top of every single thing and getting the perfect workout routine, the perfect diet, and the perfect. It's not possible. And the mental jail that we put ourselves in is we go through life and we start devaluing the things that we were excited about and that we loved, even if it was just a good, restful weekend. When we hit that moment where we go, "Oh, I should have done this. I probably shouldn't have slept in. I probably shouldn't have enjoyed those waffles." We're actually then devaluing the good stuff that the universe, God, whoever you believe in, gave for us to enjoy. And that's pretty crappy. That's a really crappy feeling. Why would we want to devalue what was good? And we do that to ourselves. I like to share a story about a tree that was cut down to the stump. After a storm, it had fallen over on a brick wall and broken the brick wall, and they had to cut it down. And it was really sad because it was a beautiful tree over this bus stop in my neighborhood, and it just made it more beautiful. It added to the pleasantness of this walk I took every day with my dog. And then over the years, I watched that the tree still had rich roots, right? So if we think about ourselves like this tree, we can be cut all the way down to the stump. Our branches are gone and still have rich roots. And what that could look like is trauma, abusive relationships, suffering, pain, loss, grief, losing loved ones, losing our home, losing our jobs, losing money, all sort losing our children, the greatest of griefs and traumas, and still have those roots of goodness, of a soul, of love. We still have them and we want to grow. But all of those things that happened or that were said to us, maybe in an abusive or toxic relationship or job or anything, those things we take and then we poison our own growth. And like this tree, I would walk by and I'd notice the roots started shooting up new saplings. They had little leaves, and any number of them could grow into a whole new tree over time. It would take decades, but a new tree would grow eventually. But inevitably, somebody would come by and dump poison on it to try to kill it off and stop this growth because, in their mind, for some reason, this tree shouldn't grow. Right. And so, if we think about ourselves, we can experience that a lot. Like people will come by and dump poison on us, whether it's negative sentiments about us. They might try to assassinate our character. They might try to annihilate something good in us that maybe we were giving and pouring out, and then they mock it or make fun of it. And that's a reflection of them, but it poisons us. And then it stunts the growth because we allow it. We take it in, and then it becomes the thing that suppresses us being able to have the rich roots continue to grow into these trees. It's a sapling into a tree that can continue on in life. So I started the Jailbreak Club because in our minds, we're creating these prison cells, these jail cells where we trap ourselves in other people's judgments and then our own because we've internalized what was said about us. We've internalized this feeling that maybe we are the things these people said. Maybe we are a bad person. Maybe we're stupid. Maybe we're lazy. Whatever has been said to us, maybe we're controlling. And maybe some of that is true, but what's the rest of the story? Are we lazy because we're sad and tired and feeling despondent? Are we controlling because we're worried and fearful that things will fall apart if we don't step in? Are we self sabotaging out of those fears? If we come back to the idea of a plant and those thoughts that come in that we internalize and we allow to stunt the growth, think of the plant and the opposite. If we take all of those experiences and we gather them all together, like if you know anything about farming or gardening, you buy shit because that makes the soil richer. There's a lot of good stuff in shit. And what it means to take all of that shit and turn it into rich soil so then you can grow organically and naturally and with strength from those things that if we flip them around, instead of perceiving them as just oppressive and hurting us, we don't allow it to make us a victim anymore. And we allow ourselves to transform it and release and detach from it. We can then grow. We can then begin to reach again for the sunlight through the soil. Now, back to the tree that was cut down to the trunk. I have seen it sprayed with poison for years, and it keeps growing back every time. Surprisingly and shockingly, not just one shoot, but dozens of little saplings come up from these roots. It's strong, it's fiercely wanting to grow, just like you and I. So I started the Jailbreak Club for Monday nights. And like I said, those Monday nights are after the Sunday fears, all of the self sabotaging, all of the shoulds and shouldn't haves. And it's a time where you can come back, recalibrate. You've got the rest of the week and come together in a community and we can share, we can meditate, drop into ourselves, find those places where we're letting those poisons sit and it feels like a knot in the stomach or a clenched jaw or a headache in between our brows. Could feel like aches in the knees or the legs or the hands. So many physical ailments come from these poisonous, toxic thoughts that continue that we hold on to instead of transmuting them into and releasing and not allowing them to make us feel small, not allowing us to shrink. I can think of so many times where I have had to overcome the self doubt, the fear of abandonment. And then instead of living from a space of, I am so worthy and valuable and lovable, I am love, I am loving, I would just tear myself to pieces. Or I would give out of myself. I would abandon my needs and I would overgive or overfunction or self abandon so I could then receive the validation from others and fill those spaces where I felt like, okay, now I can grow. Except I already dumped those poisons onto me by self abandoning. I took what could have been the rainwater and sunshine for me and I gave it away. And I know so many people out there are doing this where we think if we give away the nutrients in the water and the everything that we need to survive and we give it to someone else or we pour it out in some other way, then the validation will come in. But really we need it for us. And it's not selfish. We believe it's selfish. We believe that it's something that we should not do for ourselves because how dare we need? How dare we want to feel fully filled up and enriched by life? Do we dare? And yes, we do. That's what this jailbreak club is for. To come together each week is a new topic. What is self abandonment? How do we stop doubting ourselves? What is our inner child feeling where we feel like we aren't listening to those needs? We're ignoring it so we can fulfill something else or fill someone else's cup or follow the shame and judgments, and maybe that direction will somehow allow us to grow. But imagine again the shame, the spiraling, the ruminating on what I did wrong, what I could have done better, if I should have done this, how that suppresses your capability and your ability to feel vibrant. It's the opposite of nutrients, it's poison. And it has to be turned into something that helps us grow and helps us feel like we trust ourselves. Self trust is the best antidote to all of this because the more you trust your needs, you center yourself on what is necessary for you to grow. You trust that your desire or passion to do something or be something or grow into something, there's more ease. You trust yourself and you are made by the universe or by God. That means you're trusting the universe, God, the great one, the creator. That means you're trusting and you're allowing and you're receiving. Just like the plant, it still has roots. It's pulling from the soil, it's collecting the sunshine, and it's continuing to produce new growth in spite of any poison poured on it. It's shocking, right? We are capable of overcoming the worst traumas, the worst pains. We're capable of overcoming the most anxious of minds. Your anxiety is not your personality, I promise you. This comes from a highly sensitive, highly anxious person, someone who can feel the feelings of other people in a room, and having to learn how to protect myself and not just walk up to anybody empathetically and let them trauma dump on me or enter a relationship ready to show someone how valuable I am, how amazing I am. Look at all of the things I can give. Look at my treasure. Open me up. Take it all. That's not how we want to be. We're allowed to hold certain things in for ourselves, hold our energy for ourselves so we can thrive. There was a moment in my life where I was sick and I was on 3 antibiotics. It was Lyme disease. And I remember I was still giving, I was still serving when a time I should have just been resting a lot, but I still felt obligated to show up to something I had agreed to before I got sick. And unfortunately, nobody was telling me, like, maybe take a few months. Maybe don't show up to church on Sunday for a few weeks. Maybe sleep, rest when you can. And I got emaciated. I got I remember looking in the mirror one morning. I was gray, skinny, exhausted. I was a new mom too. And somewhere in me believed I was just strong enough, that I should be strong enough, that I shouldn't need to rest and sleep, that I shouldn't need time to recover. I just pushed through because I'm strong enough. And if you've ever felt this way, you know that feeling of just being almost sick because you keep pushing through. If you've been through trauma, you need time to heal. You can't push through, but you can transform it and can begin to find joy outside of it because that trauma does not define you. And I can say definitely from my own experiences where I tried to be strong enough and experience trauma, it's okay to take that time. Whether someone's come through and abused you, or you've lost a loved one, or you've suffered an extreme loss of a job or income, and you feel so alone. That's what I made the Jailbreak Club for, to come together and feel supported and knowing you're not alone. You're never alone. The traumas and the things that have happened, we're not victims to. They happened. They're awful. But you get to become the hero of your life, no matter what. It's powerful and it's profound when you don't allow the poisons to take you down. And the Jailbreak Club is there to help us come together and find that rich nutrients that we need to grow and become and grow into that life you've desired. Those dreams that you keep putting out and then putting off. They're important, all of them. Even if you are one of those that switches every 5 years to a different dream. And I've been that. I've had 2 businesses. I loved them so much. And I made the decision it wasn't entirely right. And I started this out of this deep desire for purpose. Self trust became my mission and my purpose. If you want to join, I'll leave the link in the description. It's Monday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time. We're going to gather together. It's going to be immersive, meditative, fun, supportive, a little gritty at times, but it'll be the best night of your life. I hope to see you in there. I'm April Kensington. I started Trust Culture to serve others and finding self trust.